Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tyranny. So I was looking up a few things about the DLC and stuff, like when do I get started on it. And so here's the thing. There's meant to be videos on the tales from the tales. Because that basically just adds that whole where we're randomly traveling and stuff pops up and along the way. Adds stuff like that. Which is, whatever. There's also some other links NPCs that we find along the way and stuff. It's basically one of those DLCs just to flesh things out a bit more. Add some more dialogue. Ooh. They're not that great. But then, reviewing the Bastard's Wound DLC. Apparently that's mostly negative, because game-breaking bugs. And other things. And other issues. And the fact how much they charged for it back in the day. And, well, technically still charge for it. And it's not that great. Because it's basically like part of the game that should have been in the game, but was in the game. And yet it also feels incomplete too. And that's not sounding great. But we haven't even gotten to that yet. Anyway, by the way, I read more stuff. Because you know how much I love reading. Ooh. Especially when I can't even be fucking heard. Yeah, I'm having to read all this shit. That's great. Anyway, greetings, boys. You read there were spires all across territories. After the distribution of these monuments, there was all sorts of debate and speculation, but two facts seem commonplace. Most spires are built now old walls. The amount of spires is noted for exception. Nearly every culture that predate Kairos has some local myth to explain the builders of these spires. I believe that Tyranny cite the older realms as the local name for the spire old wall architects. Nobody knows for sure. Of course, for Kairos has brought proper civilization, the origin of the spire simply isn't discussed in good company. Here's what I think you need to know. First, the spires behave as an arcane lodestone. There was a constant period of magical strength around the spire. If you imagine a mystic sea resting atop our world, the spires seem to spin, ensuring this magic, creating a spell cast with even modest effort would materialize with powerful results. So what you're saying is basically Kairos could be on top of technically a Spire hub. And just basically using that to power the edicts. Second, I'd say most telling Kairos has laws against entering the old walls. Remember that. We technically entered the old walls to get to the Spire. There are no law against the spires. You could infer from this that means Kairos has no issue with the lay folks mess with the spires, but wishes to keep us safe from the old walls. Or you could think that an overlord know that if you place a rule against something, you can make it forbidden desirable. Now, I find it telling that Kairos forbids the hallways that lead to the spires, but does not paint a target on the spires themselves. Last but not least, as a young Fatebinder, I once had to oversee the case of a man who had built a shrine to Kairos around the base of his fire in the far southeast. There no evidence of falsity or slander. She was the most relevant and lovely tree of bears I'd ever seen. One point though, the man claimed he had evidence Kairos was sealed back in -50. Merely uttered those words, and my senior binder swung the axe then and there. Being the new girl of the court, I said nothing. So I wondered why such a comment should require death instead of traditional removal of the tongue. And that's a little that terrifies. Appreciate that information. Thank you for sharing. Knowing what you know of my situation, what would you do? So we already alluded to that last time. Ah yes. As usual, we crouch and we do the sneaky sneak. Cause yeah, why not? Now one thing that does bother me is we have our banner, which doesn't really show up much. That really should be like more prominent, like hanging over our spires and shit. To note that, hey, this belongs to me. This is my banner. I think it only really is like relevant for like underneath our portrait and conversations. Apparently we found a thing. Okay, not what I was expecting. Primitive flashes among the torn terrain of the late grave. As the gang emerges from the landscape around you, their hardened men and women with well-weathered skin and narrow eyes, their pure piecemeal leather armor, graced with notes of bronze. Fate binders are nice of you to finally show up. One steps forward, grinning at you with a small uneven teeth and wrapped tightly in the fur and levers of a blood chanter. Taking a massive, sooty, wind-blown hair drapes her shoulders, and her large eyes scrutinize you hungrily. Get over the scenery now. Treat its face and discriminate artistry of our overlord. I'm not supposed to know who you are. Name's Callus Spark. Ridiculous, you're telling yourself. But I think it suits. It's just the color in a way the mother name never did. Okay, onward and tell me what you want. I know it's what you're willing to sell the ironclad services to us. Dr. Secrets would be wildly, ridiculously grateful to have a personal audience with him. Huh. What does the Archive Secrets want about? Your friends survived in Eden and came out strong for it. And the voice won't be a might carry us? Well, he knows I'm allied with Graven Ash. He sent you on a fool's errand. Suppose we don't ask that Graven Ash recruit someone with something besides iron between their ears. That might come to this. In the end, let's see if you live up to your legend. So, 1, 2. Well, oh, look at that. 0 parry. A bit dodge. 2 armor. Not that great match. Not that great of physical armor. Not that great physical armor. Oh, you've got decent physical armor. And decent magic. You're threatening. You're not. These bloodhounds are minorly threatened, but these hordes are whatever. Yeah. Problem here is, yeah, how do I want to play this? Oh, towards my spell list. Because first things first is how I use Slurpee on one. I could use it on anyone, really. Problem is, they put the mages in front, so they're gonna get targeted. Ugh.
Another demonstration of our power seems in order. Anyone else want some of this?
Lantry, what do you have for me while you're being attacked? That's not great. Oh, your caster still can't touch this. Well, after you're done with that, cast haste on me, because I'm going to need that. And then probably Buffy Cone, because I probably need that. I was going to say, you better cast that too. I say cast that though. And haste. I should shoot me from afar. Let's go do it. Sit. Landry, why haven't you healed? And she's dead. Thank you.
Can't stop me, all.
Landry, stop engaging. Jeez, it's not going ideal. Also, taunt.
Come and face my iron!
No. Okay, take a second. First things first. Heals. Entry. Then. Am I hasted? I can't tell. I don't think I'm hasted still. But haste better. Okay. Heals. Do that. Okay.
Smashed to pieces!
Followed by that. Landry, did you cast? Landry cast haste damage. Wow. Now getting a crimson cross is made of trespassers on the blade grave west lane what brought us here. Yeah. Heavy armor bronze though. Remote weapons which recover penalty. Meh. Light armor lever superior. As you guys all have exceptional lever. Exquisite armor, I mean. Cause, you know, reasons. Yeah, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure if I didn't have my Gale, most of us would probably be dead, though. I mean, Ebb died because the placement of that fight was bullshit, because we all ran in and we left our flank exposed. So, they all started attacking my squishy mages. Yeah, that's not good. Also, I still really hate this kill system. Like, really, really hate it. Because, I mean, it's just so dumb at times. Like, yeah, you're supposed to basically just... Like, for example...
Consider it done.
You do Buffy Cone, right? You press that. Then you press another one after, while holding shift, right? See, Larry does it. Half the time while I'm doing that, it's like the fight. It just they don't do what they're supposed to do. It's like they'll do the first one and then they'll just go back to regular attacking. It's like, what? That's not what I told you to do. But anyway.
Will this do? It is nigh the size of a kite shield.
So we found it.
You have your rock. Let us leave this place.
Barrick, what's the matter?
I have repeatedly asked you to leave this be, yet you persist. Do you think that you act in my interest? Do you think you know better than I where my interest lies?
Barrick, why are you so pissed? You're the one who came to me in the first place and said, hey, let's go ask Tunyon about this. But then Tunyon's like, no, fuck you. And you're like, okay. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll help you. And you're like, I don't want help. Tunyon said no. But seriously, Barrick, it's a fucking quest.
There was no ambiguity in the Archon of Justice's ruling.
Oh, it was unjust.
The Overlord anointed Tunon the Archon of Justice. How can he be unjust?
The graphic service ends, Paris says nothing, and then turns his attention back to you.
This place haunts me, Fatebinder. These walls, these lands, they were hard once, but they possessed an austere beauty. The General saw them for what they were. Lands well worth fighting for. The winds that day, they swept everything aside. They tumbled tearsmen and livestock like children's playthings. The dust choked our mouths and eyes. Trees appeared as if by magic, only to be smashed into splinters against stones. And those splinters cut like knives.
Did it haunt you? I was the one who proclaimed that you did. I didn't mean to assign blame, Fatebinder. You had your orders. We both did.
We were no fools. We knew what had fallen upon us, and we took cover as best our iron shields and the General's protection allowed. Yet the wind tore us away, one by one. Some silent, some screaming. Now only I remain. In this state.
His gauntlet leans against his breast, cutting off any possible response.
Take the metal to your smith, or do not. There's nothing further to be said. Let us leave.
Barrack. Sounds so sad. Oh, so what is that? What is that? Why can't I click on it? Ah, what is that? Oh. But there was no indicator to pick up, it was just, you clicked on it. Read. And the early days of the Aegis storm, colossal troops and column of wing sometimes descended. The clouds to scar the land. One such vortex stopped downhill, raining long enough to twist the stone into tall fisher spines. Yeah, imagine that though. Winds so strong they were able to basically upset the very ground into stone formations like that. Because that's the thing. Just imagine if tornadoes did that in real life. Just congratulations, we made of this. Anyway, few time in that. That wound, though, I should really do something about it.
You want me to be subtle?
Problem is, I don't know what to do about it, because like the only thing I really have that can remove a wound is potions to revive, when I don't really have that many. Maybe I need to start stocking up on potions of revival. Because like, first I need to actually open this so I can actually see. Yeah, I think maybe I'm going to have to look for potions of revival, cause like I need stuff to remove wounds.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't think I really need to sneak around here, but you know. I think I should. Let's just go look around. Oh, see? This is what we say.
Slow and steady.
Make sure there's nothing over here besides this. Bronze great edge, though. Cool. I mean, that's not bad. I could give it to him. Not like he really needs it, though. Instead, I could just sell to get my money back. Save him from having to cheat more money. Here's the thing, I may have to actually cheat stats. I'm not sure. I don't really want to, but I'm not entirely sure how many more levels there is? Question mark? Or what? Level That doesn't say what my level is. We're level 8. I've read reports of people getting up to level 11. I've read reports of people getting up to level 15. So yeah, that's not very great, because if we do the math here, so we need what? 1, 2, puts us at 10, at least. And then, you know. Huh. Is that just passive? Could be. It's like I almost want those. But yeah, that would be number 3 though. And then Chaos Blast. If I want that. But I mostly want 1, 2. Three, 4, 5, 6, 6. That sets into 8 is 14. So that's basically all my levels right there. Just to get to that leadership thing, practically. Let alone then there's also all of this I want. So yeah. Fuck. First we want to lead the stones around the stones of these walls. Just in an iron bronze yet they persist. But here's the thing, despite how high our subterfuge is, we're not really picking up anything. We could have went over the place, well, this whole sneaky sneak. But yeah. So right now we have to go back to the secluded forge. Then we need to go back to our spires. Oh fuck, I forgot. Rule number 1 when traveling, save before traveling. So that way if a random encounter happens and we have to make a decision, we can see the possible outcomes of the decision. Like last time. Simplicity completed, yay. Save, everyone. Oh hey, we got another missive. Oh, more turn in favor. Divorce. Based on what you told me, it seems a stretch to believe that the isometric. Oh. Wait, still the thing. But these events are more coincidental to surfaces. Kaido's edict. Execution was set up for someone to claim essential. To think that Kairos did not know what would happen. It's a massive underestimation of the Overlord's long field. You've been thrust into the arena of the mighty. Your opinions. Your options are retreat into obscurity, suicide raise into the occasion. Suggest that third option. Or you always make a connection to the spider to see if they will all awaken to my presence. Every deterrent sees the spiders in the horizon. If they know you are the master of the spiders, they will see you each time they look to the sunrise or sunset. Foster a rep for power, make ours spare you. This is why I've seen Kairos in every living archetype for as long as I've lived, and there's reason for this. There's the practical case of power and a ref insert you from threats, but there's the lesser known element that Cannot prove that I know in my heart to be true, the fear and love of restraint for your magic. It won't keep me safe from threats, it's gonna rise more threats against me, though. Last part I've inferred from my discussions with Blend and Mark. A few times he had spoken of his gruesome work of slaying those who might rise to threaten the Overlord. He has hinted that it's easy to kill the rogue elements before they become famed and fearsome. In a lifetime I saw Graven Ash change from an unknown militiaman to a fearsome general, and I can assure you he didn't have the power to shield his warriors in those days. When he was without title or rep, the Archons would never ever discuss the origin of the power because such knowledge might be used against them. I have known all the Archons to be obsessed with their presentation of power. Crash the Spire will all but guarantee the Archons will want to control and destroy you. Question of when, not if. Start thinking and acting like an Archon. As far as I'm concerned, you are an Archon. The Archon aspires. Your creature place labels on powers we easily spot in history is repeat with. Archons of fire and ice is supposed to think that there must be a word for a thing before an Archon can control it. A way around the Archon shows what is possible and must step to their own dance. There's the thing. Yeah. I could ask that. Just tempting. I could ask that. I could ask about that. Yeah, I'm trying to ask about Kyrus' wrath. Yeah, thank you for weighing in on this task, perhaps to move obvious aggression. Such an anomaly, such a threat. Why hasn't the Overlord dealt with me right away? Need or just a simple request to blend and mark would be no small threat. Neither seems to have happened just yet. What is your take on this? Why hasn't Kyrus dealt with me? That is a good question, in my opinion. Why hasn't Kyrus dealt with me? You're back. Did you secure the ally? Hell. How fantastic. She accepts the ally and places it down her arm. For mumbling, she traces her fingers in L, forming a series of sigils. Raph returns to Barrack, watches the smith move. Well, the sample examining it from several angles, he says nothing, though when the face first was helm restored you, there was an accusation in his eyes. Heard that for sounds forward, she continues her examination. Oh, you encountered with some aimless grunting? Oh, come on, I could have managed this. Thanks, Lantry Spank. This will do. This will most certainly do. She straightens down vigorously, brings her hands together in a single sharp clap. It's going to take a little time to work out the rock's properties, but this is a promising start. Assume that you'll be stabbing with a hot iron rod as well? Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Of course not. His armor grinds against itself with a growl. What are you worried about? Doesn't Graven Ash for Tet? Eb has a point. Not in the mood, Water Witch. No, do let me know when you are in the mood. I have plans for... Damn it, Eb. Pour up a stool or a crate to make yourself at home. This shouldn't take too long. Do. And then we waited. A few hours passed, then and bombards the sandwich with from the blade grave with a combination of hammering and spell, where she heats it, submerges it in water, shapes it, reads on lightning, and causes it to levitate in the air. Then she pauses, studying the meadow and tapping her chin. Find anything? I just don't say I did. The alloy absorbs and retains mystical energy, specifically in the form of magical effects. There, your weapon and crafter could retain its enchantment for decades at least, maybe longer. What does this mean for Barrack? It means that your curiosity state. It means that we can continue our true mission and forget this heretical crest. You live your entire life in search of Graven Ash and the Overlord. The added burden of this armor is ridiculous. As it should be. I don't sell this armor because it is just, so because it's Kyrus' will, and I'm Kyrus' servant, as you often didn't claim to be. Fortunately, separating Barrack from the armor may not be as easy as one imagines. Perhaps if I got him to him immediately after the edict. As is, Barrack is allied with his armor, as the iron is with the bronze. Simply put, Ash's ability to shield a soldier to spread to the armor, likely due to the ease powder each wound taken by a soldier in armor 1, and they heal as one, with flesh and metal fusing together. Oof, that sounds painful. So long as the Barrack remains under the Archon of War's power, he remains in the armor the longer he remains. So long as the Barrack remains under the Archon of War's power, he remains in the armor. The longer he remains in his armor, the more it will become an intractable part of him. You're a lot of trouble, you know. That's not encouraging. Now I imagine not. At least you have your answers. Can we remove the ages? Short the death of Grave and Ash for him rescinding his patronage over Barrack, I see no way to free Barrack from the Archon's power.
Neither is an acceptable solution. This shell, onerous though it may be, protects me and serves you. Without the great general or the disfavored, I have no purpose.
Thanks, but please keep searching for a better way. My pleasure. If I uncover anything thorough, dispatch a bird immediately. Well, we should probably speak with Barrack.
I was better off not knowing, Fatebinder.
Oh, now you know.
Oh, that the Archon's protection, the very thing to which I owe my life, keeps me imprisoned in this shell.
Shakes his head violently, throwing sparks where his helm meets his curse.
Ignorance of how deeply cursed I am was the only blessing remaining me.
I'm sorry, Barrack.
I appreciate the sentiment, Fatebinder, but truly, pursuing this further is folly.
But it's still on my quest log, Barrack.
Truly, Fatebinder, while we may not always agree, I consider you more than a comrade in arms, which is why I hope you abandon this foolish obsession with removing my armor. No choice exists here. This armor remains my cage, as Kairos willed. I can accept that. I hope that you can too.
Barrack. Quest log, though. You don't understand. No. Well, never mind. I tried, Barrack. I tried. But now it's no longer on the quest log. So, besides the other ones, I guess it's time to go meet Grave and Ash. Well, no. First things first, is we go back to my spire. Cause yeah, that's... Oh, I forgot to fucking save. Oh, nothing happened. Gotta remember that. Need to save before fast traveling. Or traveling at all. Because who knows what could happen? We could end up in a situation where we get more iron. Which, speaking of... Oh, for fuck's sakes. Anyway. Oh, and I guess we're going to inquire about all this shit. Archipels allow me to address by such a title before it becomes fashionable to do. I pride myself as a woman who stays ahead of the trends. While Kairos might sound but allows others to exist is a question we all ponder. The Overlord can certainly appear arbitrary, and as I've learned anything, that's the point. Kairos is intentionally aloof and distant, both for matters of personal security and because if you had to wrangle the most powerful entities of terrorists, you need to keep them from getting too comfortable. To me, the most obvious answer is that Kairos knows exactly what you are doing. She probably improves reactions and is likely working every opportunity to create a situation wherein you're acting in your own self-interest while satisfying her ambitions as well. So we're basically doing what she wants, but yet she's letting us think we're doing what we want. Interesting. You have to consider one important detail. There's no 11 terrorists to conquer them now that the terrors are in the Overlord's grasp. What would the great generals even do in a time of peace? The forces around is barely tolerable when you have need of a spy master. Why keep around such a monster when you no longer need such a gruesome weapon? I agree it's in Kairos' interest that the terrors be a costly invasion that claims the lives of as many of the Archons as possible. Not enough me and the terrors to keep too many sharks safe for very long. Car's ordered everyone to take Ascension Hall or die. Or die must have been an acceptable option, correct? If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say you have the unspoken and back in the Overlord. It's not like Vendor and Mark can find you wherever we want. Well, he could if he wanted to. So, how about Blended Mark? Made mention of his playing Mark and his killings during my training. Fate by encountering a hint to that. Much of Blended's work involves killing all such before they blossom into generating problems. So I'm curious to hear you second that fact. Let's say for the sake of Archon, I am some Archon. It's a matter of time until Blended Mark is sent to kill me. Should I be making grand displays of loyalty to Carter suit his suspicion? Yeah, hi. Have you completed my thing? You completed my thing. Simplicity, it's only a fine staff. But it can be made better. Now here's the thing, do I have anything else I want made? I can make that stupid thing. With all my... The thing is, I don't really care about it, because it's heavy armor that's bronze. Ew. Like the sword, yeah, that sword annoys me just cause it's a nice sword. That doesn't help me, sadly. Like, hey, this doesn't help me. In fact, my boots are better than it anyway, because they just give me resolve and vitality. Something like made out of freaking vitality. Also add to our bronze collection now, jeez. By the way, hi Siren.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always nice. What do you need?
I don't know, I'm just hoping for more stuff. How about you? Yeah. Well,
What do you
I
need?
guess there's nothing I really want to talk to you about. Like, I was hoping there was other
Second
side
Spire
quests.
has awoken to your
Oh,
presence.
fine.
This is fascinating, and I admit enviable. If it turns out your connection to the Spires invites death and woe, my jealousy might wane a bit. I've been mulling over that structure we found atop Vendrian's well. Would you be opposed to me studying the sculpture in closer detail?
I just didn't talk to Eb about it.
I'd perhaps work a spell or two near the structure. Simple cantrips of Gravelight by which to read and inspect, but I will not poke or shove the thing in any way physical or mystical.
So I could gain match major loyalty and lose major feel. But I like having over feel. So I'll just get the major loyalty instead. Yeah, if you think it's wise, of course.
Thank you. Next time we have a good moonlit night, I'd best settle in and see what sort of magic perturbations I can sense from the
Magic
sculpture.
perturbations.
What is it you need?
Does that ask your request? No. Game, why you do that to me?
What is it you need? Ask away.
I don't think you're already fascinating. Don't worry, the fear is completely mutual in that. Nothing about that.
Ask
though.
away.
Yeah, well, you make a siren.
We've all heard legends of child archons, but Siren is the real thing. She's so very jaded for her age. But I'd be a sour ninny shitter too if I had a contraption stuck on my head limiting my
Yeah, I
greatness.
mean, that is fair.
I'll tell you this much. Her hatred of the voices of Narad is either genuine or a most fantastic act. But being a giant liar, I know another liar when I see one. And I'd wager this gripe is sincere.
Well, she may have already said something to me to make me more comfortable with her presence, but and if she did, how would I know if she's influencing me or not? And if she's playing me, I applaud her while she's doing it. Well, there you
Ask
go.
away.
I guess, do you have any more things that I want? Not really. Sad. I know while we're here though, I should probably do this. Shrunk thing. Boop. Not sure if I need to bring up more funds or not, but anyway. Upgrade that. Yay. 7, 10. Barrack, I could upgrade 3 of your things. Where's the new stick I got you? Simplicity. Because here's the thing, freezing, meh, whatever. +5 to all magic skills, because you're supposed to be a mage. Not the worst looking stick. So, what can we do with this? Now, it requires bronze? Bronze, you say? Well, bronze I can work with. How about your upper stick? No, that one requires iron. Arcane. Shock, eh? Oh well. Upgrade. Upgrade. I can make it into masterwork if I ever had the money. I could do that if I had the hide. I don't have any more hide, do I? I sort of want to upgrade his hammer, though. I don't have the money for that, either. I want to upgrade his hammer, but I don't have the money. Ah, I can make money, though. I has all this shit to sell. But I guess I need to sell shit. Okay, so first things first. Discard fairy armor, useless. Light leather boots, useless. That, useless. Fish, yeah. Her old stick, but I don't give a shit about that old stick. This bow, gauntlets, the old shield, that. Don't need that, don't need that. Keeping those just because they're situational. Like, who knows what I need armor against fire? Who knows what I need immunity to burning? Who knows what I need immunity to poison? That, Chara sleep. Man, why would I sell that? Don't care. So yeah, look at all that money. Wouldn't have paid for half of the things I'd made, though. But anyway. So Barrack, I want you to upgrade your hammer. Boop. There's how much left? 8. So I could upgrade 2 pieces of his armor. That's about it. Do I want to upgrade 2 pieces of his armor? Yeah, sure. What would be the best piece? Well, this would be the best because that. Oh, well, no, it only goes up 1. Oh well. Upgrade. Upgrade. Got a new message. Shame there goes all my bronze. I could upgrade. Well, I could have upgraded that though. Could have, should have, probably should have. I could make masterwork things though. If I had the resource. Oh fuck! I forgot about Lantry's fucking quill. Sorry, Lantry, maybe next time. My bad. Forgot about your quill. Well, I can actually probably get more from what's-his-face if I had the money. And can't really train yet because we haven't leveled because I haven't really been fighting too many things. Mostly just been stuck in dialogue shit. Speaking of dialogue shit, Dale Faithbinder. Before he kept secret that planning march job is more about carrying threats before they become a problem. Official executions are really the minority of his duties. I understand Kairos has long used splendid mark as a preventive major since he can move about the world rather freely, and he can evade all but the most absurd powers. The perfect predator to sin against wild talents. I'm sure few in the Tears have ever actively wondered why though been seemingly so few Archons born this far west. I'm sure folks with the potential to be Archons have occurred in the Tears time and time again, but they're usually cut down by a mark before the world hears of them. Likely today, for a simple mark has his eyes on you and his orders to use his own judgment as to when to strike. I'm the old man for ages now, and he strongly caught you not to try to appeal to him with overly displayed loyalty. No stone for Citricans. I sincerely believe he thinks every human being is a selfish, twisted knave. And there are those who are lying about it, and those who assert that what they are, no third type assist. So yes, I do think Blamemark will one day come for you. As I said, you could always hide or end your life now, but where you're headed, conflict is likely inevitable. So how did the Archons rise to power? Mr. May mentioned a great connection how you've known him since before he wore the title of Archon of War. Tell me what you observed of his rise to power. If I'm indeed an Archon, it's safe to say I wasn't born knowing what I can or can't do, and it stands to reason I might learn something from the stories of other Archons. Yeah, here's the thing, I could talk to you guys, but yeah, they don't have anything, because I already took everything. I could go, I should talk to Verse. Guys, we're quite a literal collection of spires, aren't we? The fortune art where there's no one for keeping strongholds. I never see the pill. What do you think of these spires? The big and make no mistake, a determined army could knock one down if they got enough shovels and picks together. We sort of creatures assume they're invincible. So what they are? Try not to ask those sorts of questions. So why doesn't he like strongholds? Because there's no point in standing still. The forces prefer to keep his forces busy on the move. Though he rests for hours between dusk and dawn. Yeah, what happens when you take over all of the tales? Then what?
What do you need?
Then nothing to really talk about after that. Timber. Oh yes. Nothing I want still. Yay. Of course, I don't really have the resources for... Well, I do want either, though. Which is the unfortunate part. Because we need to go... back to the Lover's Fire, because, you know, that's the fun part. Did you have all these spires that you're going to keep traveling between because they have different loot at each of them, along with different NPCs that are collecting shit for you daily. We haven't been back to this one in a field, so... Besides, Ravos Hill has stocks up on iron. Doesn't really like me, but he stocks up on iron, which is great. Oh, I love that. Problem is, I can't really afford that much iron, and that makes me sad, because he has 3 iron. It's 45 gold. I can't afford that. That makes me sad. Like, even if I was to sell most of these things, I probably couldn't make up that much. Unless I sold some of my shinies, and I don't really want to sell. Why is this still in my inventory? I don't know. Because it put itself uphill instead of downhill. That's probably why. Oh no, that doesn't really help me. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to buy only 2. I need the hide too, though, don't I? Oh, fuck. Well, that's the best we could do. Unless you guys brought me armed weapons. Do you have anything for me? Thanks, guys. Hey, Rev. I need to show you some stuff. So here's the thing. They brought me this iron hero shield, which, I mean, it's not bad. Actually, his is exquisite, so it's basically the same as that. Just his has been upgraded. And Barrett's fine. It's the Pride of the Forgotten. Which I think is actually just not a hero shield, though. Don't know. Don't think it is, anyway. No, a hero shield wouldn't be a tower shield, would it? And his is more of a tower shield, I think. Anyway, Regardless, we go here and we'll toss that in. Toss iron axe in. Toss bronze javelin in. So it's 23, which is at least enough for the iron. Not enough for the hide, though. Well, I could buy one hide, but yeah. Oh well. And some more iron back. No one I can really train with, sadly. No, I can't train with anyone. It's unfortunate. Inspire, you did the thing. Maintenance costs. Remember to keep your stuff up. Ooh. Wait, is there anyone new I can hire? Meh. Meh. Anyway. Okay, well, I guess it's finally time we head to Grave and Ashes encampment. Been putting this off for a while now, doing barracks stuff and everything else. So yeah, down around here. So, yeah, because there's nowhere else for me to really go. Because I can't go there. Can't go there. So I guess it's... Stop. What are you doing? Remember the rule. Right, I almost forgot the rule. You save before you travel. That way, if something happens, you has that save. Now we go. See? And this is why we do that. After a few hours of difficult travel through an area of dense undergrowth, you happen upon a small stream where you can refill your water skins and wash the sweat from your brow. Nearby you spot a large copse of narrow trees with leaf-bearing vines growing around their trunks. Continue, and the vines snake upward dozens of thin yellowish-green stems sprout forth along the plant's cane, some of them stiff and upright, others drooping downward like long hairs at the end of these stems as floats from bright orange berries radiate outward, ripe and abundant. To your eye, they appear to be bristleberries. The fuck are bristleberries? They are a very distinctive fruit, nutritious and energizing, though also unfortunately seemingly similar. Appearance of bristlebane, a berry that is tolerated by beastmen and animals, but rarely toxic to humans. So you could eat the berries, you could leave. You could examine the berries. You know what, let's examine the berries. First, given the tidings that the berries vary from bright orange to a yellowish orange. The size of each individual fruit differ slightly between bristleberry and bristlebane, but it's very difficult to determine of the two side by side. Great, well, this is fun. The leaves extending from the main vine are bright green and lob, with edges resembling underlying hairs. This matches don't say you carve out the berries. Leaves like hairs, safe from chills. Leaves like rain, unending pain. The berries appear to be safe. We shall now eat the berries. You have to cautious approach filling pouch with the berries while eating on a small single cluster. First sweep and tart surprisingly juicy to the sides, and the thought of immensely eating and upper half are tantalized, but you restrain yourself. With the stream as your guide, you follow the dense forest and eventually reach the main road with little difficulty. The rush of sugar and euphoria puts a spring in your step. Then you spot your edible berry from toxic. You tear your pouches to devour the berries, invigorated by every bite to satisfy you. Bound down the road, rejuvenized for the journey to come. So basically, hey, recovery time. We are refreshed and invigorated. Yay. Sure, why not? At least we didn't poison ourselves, which is good. I just realized something. That's probably gonna ring merchants here, and I has no gold. Well, it rings, but still. Shit. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, this is the sort of question that can get you killed. Very little is known about how Archons are born and come to power. And my long life has taught me that Kairos and the Archons prefer this way. If the young and talented remain forever in the dark, the old and mighty can rule without challenge. For Vash, who always beat Meli Ashman before Kairos renamed him and gave his legions that backhanded titles, a rebel, grimy, illiterate partisan who was winning battles with his countrymen of the Northern Kingdom, lost left and right. Ash was always a good leader, but he wasn't born able to mystically reach out and protect his soldiers. The earliest mention isn't even until the tail end of the Northern Conquest. Read the journals, they don't tell stories of grievous harm warded off by Ash and Stone Lords. Instead, they talk about soldiers finding their fear. The doubts lifted from them by Ash's presence. The Calfaro Reed suggests the ability to actually protect physical harm came years later. That bond grew, and more importantly, as his legend grew. That as far is the key detail of my understanding. Is Archon's power something of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Widespread perception of Archon's power is the very thing that strengthens an Archon's power, so in Ash's case, it's early inking of a power, the ability to assuage the burdens of his men, and he took on a mantle of power and became known all around. Treacherous as the next Archon was, he became the ability to bear the physical burdens of his men, not just their fears and doubts. That's my advice to you is act like an Archon. Take power you can find it, force to feel, force to love. Now walk through life anonymously, but rather live in the thoughts of your foes and the anxieties of your enemies. So basically, I have to give in to the power. Embrace the power. Become one with the power. Anyway. Hi guys. My life with the Legion. Okay. So what we have here anyway. I can't tell what those are. We have an Akalos, we have Graven Ash, we have more things. Cephalos, Osmia, Fartstrick, Ovinius, huh? Wait, your Scarcar, what are you doing, Hal? Oh, it's a high loot. Boop. Hi. Favorite soldier chuckles will just stay in the Scarcar's fighter. Sarah, not for a second. We pick our soldiers from elite Nord families. We don't recruit from flies buzzing over a mass grave. Well, the disfavored so narrow-minded, my gang strength discipline delivered us across half a dozen battles with a line of fallen enemies in our wake, and my conscripts can say the same. It does not matter skill of your breeding, your training, your pedigree. So, noting that encourage salutes. Hail Graven Ash, Fatebinder, if I might take a moment of your time. What do you need? The person comes representing a Scarcor's gang. What do you call yourselves again? The Grinning Bleeders. We have a long and storied rep in the Scarcor's ranks. Killed to the highest order, my gang. For as a boss I ran with a broken shit. The Salty Nightmares. And Trap Gang. Everyone made a name for themselves during the war. Broken shit. In case you decided to join the disfavored, which is about the question, I was finding the numerous reasons why we can't allow it, but the rest won't listen. Is that adequate? It is. We're not looking for spatial treatment, just a new beginning. Seeing as we're healthy, fit, and combat ready, the Ironclad should have no reason to refuse this. Especially since they're low in numbers. But they could be enemy spies. That may be true, but it's no excuse to pollute our respectful ranks with your company. More than capable of putting any weapon in our hands, and our sinners are only suicide missions, mercy compared to what we faced during the forces in Iran. We do know that the Disfavored will have to compromise their staunch northern morals. We would take the bloody work off their hands. You want me to decide the matter? You must know Car's law is back to front, and I trust you know our traditions as well. If it appears a lamprey off my backside, I will allow it. Speaking for our gang, we'll accept your judgment. We're going to crack some cheersmen scholars for Kara's army again, no matter what color they will. Well, let me take your testimony first. Of course, I have nothing to hide. Yeah. Why can't the recruits join this fair? Where do I start? Knowing those Graven Ash handpicked as the fair from the decorated order stock, he takes personal interest in training and education. Your sons and daughters accept anything less than ranks would hold the very process of contempt. Well, that's what I needed. The only capacity they consider would be manual labor, hauling wagons or digging latrines, but that's the work for slaves. Not what they come requesting. So why this interest in the disfavored? Better training, better quarters, iron weapons. If they would have everything we want, I would join the military. When the Kairos, the better of berries. That asking too much? Old Ironclad here seems to think so. The respect for command leaves something to be desired. So why did you leave the Scar course? Our old gang's boss fought the last battle of Vendors well. We saw how the disfavored opponent realized it was a chance for a better life, a longer one too. Desertion happens every day in Scars. I can tell you that we won't be missed. There's a few things here that are sus. I'm ready to make my ruin. Good, where it's fell. We're prepared to stand by it. Here's the thing. There's no you can join them. It's basically we could sign you to hard labor, which they don't want, or we murder you or your civilians. Here's what I'm thinking. You abandon your duties, execution is the only recourse. What? Who said that was an option on the table? Blame Mark's like, hey. Like again, wrath of him. You did when you submitted to my judgment. Well. My thanks. I'll make sure this derrick is handled appropriately. You might have permission to hunt the rest of the gang as well. Oh, to be sure. The officer nodded with enthusiasm. One gang cut off from the rest of the mob should make for an easy enough hunt. My archers are in desperate need of target practice. It's a bit of a dick move, but yeah. There's no real good way to solve it because they'll Scar Cars try and join the disfavored. That's not gonna work. Besides how many sus things I saw about that. Hi. Green's Fate Binder, Achelos 32nd Legion. Large Lieutenant Agent Grace Ironhurst, Ashes True has no lack of order, but our Silverman's Corps is always welcome. Between our missing commanders and Scar Corps, Lieutenant pinned down. Afraid we have our hands full. I suppose I can spare a moment for conversation. Well, tell me about this. Seeing the truth of this little maggot of Scar Corps, Lieutenant cornered over at Kaido Village. What I'm hearing is the same guy who's been ransacking our caravans the past few weeks. First, I'm already handling something for Ash. I'd go and skin the filth myself. You being here simplifies matters. Make sure the lieutenant doesn't leave the village alive. Yeah, sure. Good for you, you to pitch in. No one will mourn the loss of one more car's rat. Questions. So where were you? You say I've seen the tears from top to bottom. I dug latrines out of camp at the gates of judgment. That information sent me to Leftman's Crossing. Got into a few roads with the Bronze Brotherhood. Not a pretty sight. Then I had brief deployment in Apex, but the fire was winding down around when I arrived. After that, I did a tour of Starwood, but I got transferred up before the edict tore everything apart. Hail from a bombing well, a small hamlet far west of Kairo's capital. It's nothing glorious, but I can trace 6 generations back there, so it's home. I hope to return there someday for a heap of tales, rings, and renown. Once Graven Ash gave me his favor and recruited me to join the army, my family went from respectable performers to elite foe. Better regarded or respected than damn near anyone. And they should be doing well for themselves. See, that's one thing if you think about it. Scar Chorus is like, yeah, you're part of the mob. No one really gives a shit. Except for the Scar Chorus. And they don't even give much of a shit either. But the disfavored, if you join the disfavored, you're practically set for life. Literally. Because Graven Ash protects. Like, literally, if you think about it, you're set for life because you basically get this buff from Grave and Ash that says, hey, you're part of the disfavored. We can protect you against most harm, not mortal wounds, but still. You're given all this cool shit, all this respect. Pretty great. And your family gets all these benefits for you joining. Compared to the score of chorus, it's like, yeah. Like, I don't see any reason why I would, you know, choose the Scarlet Chorus over the Disfavored. Because it is favored have it going on. Anyway, how did you join the Disfavored? Had the Congress gave an action recruits to all the outlying towns looking for worthy talent. Village held a tourney in melee to demonstrate a local muscle. Nothing fancy mind you, but I was mostly fighting on hay bales with wooden spears, had the stench of toppling even the biggest contender. The mayor town, one after my own heart. Good things to see, I'm more useful to cards in the field of battle than a field of wheat. Well, there you go. And we have a new quest. So contains all supports required on the battlefield of it neatly yet light but organized. So we have... That's a nice stick. That's a really nice stick. Lantry, I found a nice stick. You get to carry that stick with you. You don't get to use the stick, but you get to keep the stick with you. Hi. Come you stop and chat, I'm in a sticky situation. No one in my gang is alive around to help me out. So wasting the Fate Binder's time. He has better things to do than listen to some criminals milling. I'll be the judge of that. Tell me your problem, soldier. Thanks for helping me out. That's favorite aren't keen on conversation, otherwise I wouldn't be here. It's impossible to get a word in otherwise. Edgewise. Still just caught me outside a breach in the old walls. That's it. I was inside and stuck my toe through the threshold. Wasn't dancing from any pain. I have a healthy relationship for self-preservation. Then why were you arrested? You're only hearing one side of the story. Faint by our scouts observed the threats for you raiding to enter the old walls. Now it's flawed to a guilt witnessed by multiple trustworthy northerners. I'm sorry, is raiding to enter the best you have? Because I could just as easily argue that you're ready to get knifed between your shoulder blades, but it doesn't count for a shit until I see blood or bronze. But they will iron, not bronze. Then go into the old walls, case closed. Before I advocate, I need your mutual cooperation. She asked me if the prisoners already been tried and sentenced, but if this little game were signed to caterwauling, then be my guess. Did you just call my abdicating a game? Stand by your decision. It couldn't land me anywhere worse than this. Oh, it could. So what were you doing outside the old walls? The gang went inside as I tried to tell the disfavored cloth 100 times over. Shouted myself raw trying to get them back out, but the gang was having none of it. O'Lee just got over the breach and got himself inside with a chance to find treasure. Tried some might, I couldn't talk him out of it. Can you speak to this defense? Since that, of course, I'm familiar with the rest of the record. There was no gang, just a lone opportunist out to make a fortune breaking cowards laws. The scouts could tell by looking at her that she was headed for the breach. She's a fighter in pro-cry fight when they took her in custody. I have no reason to doubt the charges. Resisted arrest. So, what else do you have? So, you have no interest in entering the old walls? Never, I go for the chills. Yeah, we knew better than to go inside the old walls. It's not because cowards thought, because the things that are inside were likely to eat us. What we find in the Shadow's ruins is not worth the risk. Yeah, I've been in them. And there was nothing there, so... What was your gang doing in the old walls? Causing trouble, living no more or less than what gangs do. Watchers is desperate holding his position, which is healthy when you're in the Scar course. When he came to the conclusion that old world plans some powerful artifice, the result was self-defiant at all costs. Fine, you see guys were wrapped up in the survivor trying to get himself killed. So where's your gang now? Never saw them make out of the old walls, so either they did or they didn't. My mind's on the latter. Made out they aren't wasting their breath trying to find me, so fuck them. I could do that. You can't cause the breach in the old walls. Well, are you kidding me? It would take an incredible force and incredible magic to back in that ancient power. We had neither at disposal. Yeah, I don't think they did that. They probably found a hole in the wall and hey, loot. One cards you to some local mage cards breach. Whatever ruin you make, don't pin that on me. I'm inclined to agree. Don't make the mistake of giving this one too much credit. Right. Yeah, I could do that, but they don't really pay me enough, so I'm ready to make my judgment. There's the thing. There's enough evidence here, really. To be honest, I could let them. This one was the most tempting one. I mean, sure, the disfavor don't exactly like it, but there isn't really enough evidence. Like, I would need witness testimony. Well, what we have witness is that say that she was seen by multiple people, but we don't have witness testimonies from, like, say, her gang to back up if they were actually in there. We only have her saying that they were there. We have people saying that she was outside. Didn't say she went inside. She might have been about ready to, but didn't go inside, so technically she's not guilty yet. She didn't actually go inside, so yeah, at the very least, the evidence is insufficient to prove the charges are free to go. Shrewd, Fate Binder, very shrewd. Think you do just fine. This goes against my orders and my reason. If I cannot argue the rule and turn this agent, I'll let you go. Try and stay out of trouble. Stay out of the old waters, but that's all I can promise. I mean, to be fair, they didn't go inside. They might have been about ready to go inside, but that's not against the law. Going inside is against the law. So, it's great. It's one of those. It's basically like, hey, this person's sus because he's lingering outside this house. But he hasn't robbed the place yet. Might look like he's about to, but he hasn't robbed the place yet. There she goes, out of my life. Oh, no longer. Oh, 59 to open that. I mean, look at all that, though. I mean, did you see what we just picked up? Did you see it? Because I saw it. How are you not affected by resolve? Yeah, you have that stand tall going on. I have the stand tall going on. You don't, though. I mean, you have enough. Just trying to debate. So, yeah, I have how much actually? 4. I'd have 12. So I probably should take that. Where is it? So, yeah. Just add more resolve. Yay, letters. Slurp. And yay, more iron for the collection. So hey, we could rest too. Why would I rest here though? I would lose my buffs. Wait, do I even have my buffs? I no longer have my buffs. I was gonna say I haven't rested. I guess that traveling thing counted as a rest. So I lost my buffs. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh shit, that's probably unfortunate. Well, thing is, I don't have any spells that can actually be removed myself. Wait, I do, because I have these ones which go over 95, and I'm no longer over 95. Huh. So I can still cast them? Ah. Cool. So I guess it doesn't really matter if you go underneath that so long as you don't remove the spell. As if you remove the spell, it's probably, yeah, you can't add it back. But cool. That means I could technically make better spells for people. So long as they're not removed. Like this one here. Man, cooldown. Update. Like all of her things are all such that they could technically be higher, probably. Well, +5 wouldn't be enough to really update them. Also, it still bothers me that how high her lore skill is. She's a mage. She has just about more than Barrack, and Barrack's our tank with 3 spell slots. Yeah, that's like how he still has his 110 ones. Anyway, interesting. So over here's Graven Ash. Ooh.
There! See
Yeah, I didn't even think about trying to sneak around with that stuff, but they're just.
that?
We have enough subterfuge so we could just spot things. The subterfuge is pretty high. Could be higher though if I had my buffs. Anyway, hi. You must be the Fate by Britannia and its favorite Iron Walker bounce. Welcome to Ironheart. I'm sure the Graven Ash appreciates any help you can offer. Circumstances have a way of coming together that its favor always stretches thinner than we would like. What can I do for you? So why are you so overworked? Try to shoulder the brunt of the Civil War without the strength of numbers. Scarecrows can throw 1,000 disposable bodies at an issue without a second thought. We're forced to be a little more discriminating. Might be trained to deal with the stress of combat and all-night drills, but we're all fatigued even by a high standard we set for ourselves. Not that I need to burn mention the court of my grievings. The war's over and the terrorists are properly subdued. My hope is that Kairos dispatches some relief troops to support the occupation. And the Corps is always subject to the needs of soldiers, the point is noted. That's very generous of you to say, Fate. I'm grateful to know that someone's listening. So where were you during the conquest? After the Aegis storms hit, I spent some time among the ruins of Starred, digging out the fires from Legion. I'm afraid I didn't find much. You must have moved on by then. I watched the widow of a similar team to excavate you. The person moved with me. There was no reason to tarry. Think about the brothers and sisters we left behind. Sometimes they come at you and I hear their voices carry on the wind. There's a dog. Hi, dog. The dog lifts his head in quizzical, expected matter. Well, there you go. And though you're not a fully fledged disabled recruit, I've been authorized to grant you purchasing rights from restorers and certain limits, of course. There's limits? I have like rank 5 with you. What limits are those? That's personal to your Graven Ash once his control is applied without restricting access to his army supporters like yourself. Fine, so I'm to find fresh provisions are reserved for soldiers under his direct command. I'm sure you understand the architects are protected very seriously. Yeah, that's not question it. I was like, I'm rank 5 for you guys. So all you had is Blinding Oath. You know, I'll probably try to defeat it. Okay, that's stupid. That's really stupid. So basically, here's this. Is it a javelin or is it a knife? I can't tell. Whatever it is. Well, the thing is, oh, so basically you have that grip. Well, you're expected to die, so you heal your allies. What? This favorite iron sword. Not bad. This favorite javelin. Shields. He'll get into the actual stuff of it, though. Here's what we're looking for. I sort of want like that iron armor just so it would actually look better on me. because, you know, it probably could be the same as my Forge Bound armor, just upgraded. Well, let's see. Fire Arcane. It'd actually give me more Frost armor than Fire and Arcane. Not sure which I need more of. I'm going for Pyrrhus armor. Yeah, I could probably actually use more of the Pyrrhus armor, honestly, but oh well. Overall Lieutenant's recovery time. Ooh, recovery time, we say. Recovery time. Found that they both have those, which are pretty good. But fully upgrade one of those with the recovery time wouldn't be the worst if you think about it. Problem though is it's hide, because leather. Which basically means it's expensive as shit. Oh, so I need that. Need that. Definitely need that. That's essential stone. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll come back to it. We will come back to it. 45. Blech. And you guys don't have any spare weapons just lying around. Smart. Oh, we should go to the grave and Ash and be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? I did the stuff. Snake. But I know extra stuff. Oh well. Whoop. Hey, look, there's some of the extra stuff. Yay, some raw meat. Totally worth my time. These reports are so known scorecards outposts and strongholds as far as true compositions. Safe to assume that Graven Ash has his own eyes and ears within the ranks of his enemies. Anyway, hi Graven Ash. Been a while. Faithfinder, no one in recent history has reached the pinnacle of a spire, and yet you stepped to the top as if they were intended for your occupation. What do you have to say for yourself? I'm still figuring out what it could mean. And take care of your curiosity then. If the arcana behind the spires has been lost, there's likely a good reason behind it. I would hate to lose a capable agent due to some calamity. That almost sounds a bit threatening. What do you require? Well, I came here all this way. Before I continue with that, tell me more about yourself. I'm a family man. I've always believed that the culture has grown from family legacy and respect for the past. I've started 4 children my long life. Asherin, Priam, Amelia, and Brennans. I'm a general to my soldiers, but far as well. They have my confidence, my love, and my trust. My Ocean Terrorist fan many more than any human lifetime, and on this journey I have learned much. It must be said that I have also grown stubborn. I believe that marriage must be handled a particular way. See no reason away from those beliefs, as they are the product of my experience. Well, tell me about your children apparently. My first and proudest accomplishment. What strength she had during the conquest of the Northern Empire. She was slain by the Blood Echo, a madman who once laid claim to the title of Archon of War, or the later cut his head from his shoulders with Ashelin's broken sword. He continued to scream for minutes after the deed was done. I miss her to this day. Would that she had lived long enough to bring up family of her own into this world. Imagine me a grandfather. It was for him, a son born to the life I enjoyed before as an Archon. He fell to a wasting illness caused by a POTS, the Archon of Ruin. Disease was but one of many weapons we were during the conquest of the North. While he still alive, he was set at my right hand, for he was wise in counsel and strategy beyond his years, perhaps even beyond mine. And now we have Amelia. She has her father's stubborn persistence. She is an excellent fighter, though many brazen and eager to test herself in the field of battle. I have objected to this disposition in the past, but seems intrigued to her being the very breath she draws. Maybe she has been missing from the Legion since the fighting escalated and stalled. After our advance detachment made their way into the depths of enemy territory, we lost contact. I feel for her, Fatefinder. Feel for her daily, not knowing it during this war into a nightmare. I thought you were able to feel all connection with your people. Prince, our youngest and most beloved, he was joyful and loving, a soldier like his father. He was devoted to his countrymen. He told the most horrid jokes. But I was taken captive of vengeance, well, later died. I could feel his life at the moment it was extinguished. So, well, that would mean Amelia would still be around? Question mark. Sentences were unusual, none of the quick violence brought about by blade or hammer. Diverse of force I cannot understand. We're not speaking this over. That one that's sus. Can the connection between you and the soldiers be severed? Why would I ask that? It says nothing. On your death, why do you ask me? I don't think back. I forgot I asked. Like I could like I don't really want to ask that question, to be honest. But to know more about the disfavored. We are more than a mere army. I ensure that the disfavored legion represent everything we hold dear in the North. Rigid discipline, training to perfection, respect for law, and the importance of family. As conquerors, it's our duty to teach the savage land not just how to live. Up to the pharaohs of the Empire says for how to live for them. What's the Legion's history? Cowards conquered the North under a single band. There were those who resisted the Coward unification. I was a young warlord at the time, pedant and inflated by pride. I routed the sons and daughters of the North to stand against Kairos. Our offensive was valiant. We planted a shield wall between the armies of Kairos and our homeland, declaring that no tyrants would dare cross us. Go on. We held our ground for a time, drawing the attention of others who would add their shame to ours. Every victory was discussed and celebrated by upper warring factions that refused to submit. As you witnessed, the attack against Kairos. Eventually my legion shattered against the relentless assault of Archons and soldiers. They brought me in chains before Tunyon. He told me the enemies of Kairos would all be put to the sword unless I took that one opportunity to surrender and join the fold. Such an indignity for an honored warlord to suffer. Perhaps was no less than I deserved at the time. So proud of my accomplishments, and nothing but the Overlord's censure and a threat of execution could stem my egoism. Oh, with loyalty and love for my country, I swore my pride and bent the knee, offering my sword and my life to the Empire. My owners granted the rights of Kairos peace, and we lived on the servants of the Overlord. Since we had transgressed and rebelled against the offering of Kairos protection, my elite legion was striped with the decorated, named and dubbed as favored. Mocking reminder for our past crimes. Even as we stand above all odds in the ways of war, we struggle to earn back Kairos' favor. Every soldier of my legion is descended from those who stood with me during the rebellion. I keep them close to me because they're the finest northern stock and they'll continue the lineage. You say that, but yet at the same time you did recruit people from like tournaments and shit too. That goes for you as well, Child of the North. By your unwavering loyalty and respect for our heritage, you are beloved in my eyes, he nods at Barrett. Name all the units. Also, the man with the stone shields. Stuff. Gonna stop reading for a bit. You regard the soldiers with great severity. Oh, do tell! Ebb's eyes light with excitement. Do you smell bad? This is the accent. Legion takes hatred of the terrorism and elevates it to an art form. Just what did we do to offer such defense? That was squad and welfare and rendered Kairos' superior for so long that they don't deserve our respect. The rest of the Empire coalesced into a unified shared culture. The participants prided themselves as distinct. Oh, aren't they doing basically what you did? All I've seen the Tyranny proves my bias. There was a lawless and a good. Corruption, inflying, everything the Vaunted North has disposed of through superior breeding and culture. I mean, I do gain average rap, but yeah, that's why you just said. I mean, that was intercourse during the early stages of the Northern Conquest. You think these periods of history could be easily compared, than you are more short-sighted than I could have imagined. I stood against a presumptive overlord to defend a way of life that no longer exists. The South can afford no such illusions. Kairos has dominated every corner and Tyratus, and claimed these lands by might is already accomplished in all but name. I can draw comparisons to this to Skyrim, for example. The whole Outmore Dominion. So, they have control over, like, say, most Tamriel, technically, because, you know, they have holds over basically the Imperial Army and all that they control. I'm not sure exactly how far it's fanned into, like, say, Morrowind, or what remains of Morrowind anyway. And so in the other places, the Outmore Dominion is technically made up of the Wood Elves, the Khajiit, and, of course, the High Elves. But yeah, they have quite a bit of dominion over things. And then there's Skyrim, where the Nords are like, no, we will stand up against them. It's that whole rebellion versus empire thing, though, which so many things do. The problem, though, is, to be honest, I hate that shit. Like, here's the thing, I've watched enough Star Wars. I've been always a fan of Star Wars, but yeah, I hate the whole rebellion idea. Because it doesn't make sense, logically. It really doesn't make sense that basically you have I know I should be focusing on this, but you have basically a thing that spans that's so much larger, and yet a whole bunch of people could just get together and somehow win. Because it's like a well-trained rebellion can just win against a superior empire. That always bothered me. Because there was no real logic that should work. But apparently it does, because, like, it's been done so many times. Because, like, for Skyrim, well, you could join the Stormcloaks and push out the Empire. Defeat the Outmore Dominion in Skyrim. Do all that. Because, you know, it's a player choice. And because it's a player choice, it matters. Somewhat. It also just depends what Bethesda decides to do with that, if they actually incorporate that into future lore, if they don't give a shit about it. Because they could just say canonly that, hey, the Empire won, though. Anyway, Elder Scrolls 6. Let's see what else is on my priorities. But yeah, Star Wars, for example, though. There were few problems with that. Mostly because the Stormtroopers are actually very useless, because they got rid of the whole clone template. Like, if they kept the clones from, like, say, Well, the whole Jango Fett template clones? Yeah, sure. They might have actually been effective against the rebellion, but oversights and cost and all that. Not great when you're trying to when you downcut things and all that. Because you have a empire that's just simplified. Versus a whole well-trained rebellion. Yeah. Flaws. But anyway, back to Tyranny. Zero against the presumptuous overlord. Yeah. Suffering no longer affords us solutions. Kairos has dominated every corner territories, and claim these lands by might is already accomplished in all but name. But the rebellion, they could win, technically. All they have to do is rise up and unite others and do what you did. Remember yourself are fully ignorant of their place in the world, and I will neither celebrate or flatter it with the terms like independence or rebellion. But full knowledge of the consequences, the former lords of the South endanger the lives of the people that cannot be tolerated. Of course, as part of that judgment may come to enjoy all the best of Kairos offers, but it will take generations to try on the long-term eradication of culture as they know it. A worthy pursuit by any standard. I see how the Jango found that the judgment are naturally defiant folk, and you'd have to silence their ways for generations to shape the curse and tenacity out of blood. Keep talking, Tycast. You could join your friends in one of the many mass graves that litter the realm. But no, I was just staying independent. Bitters will prove their opinions are poison. This fair would have their own laws. I heard the Legion in particular set standards. We don't have any laws as you would know them under Tundra's teaching. But every soldier in the Legion is aware of my expectations. First, honor the Legion. In thought indeed, I cannot allow atrocity or heinous crime to drag my respectable Northmen to shame. I expect my soldiers of our colors mandates to conduct themselves respectfully. Second, honor all oaths of your life. This respect the vows made to me as Archon and Kairos as overlord. There can be no foreign marriage for the disfavored ranks. This to prevent any obligations higher than the military. My soldiers can pair up and sire offspring as they wish. The North needs daughters and sons. I would not force my countrymen to choose between family and loyalty. And last, honor your shield and weapon. The maintenance and care of your arms and armor are critical to the soldiers' success in the field. Of course, there are rare exceptions. How do you feel under the shell of iron, son of Barbaric? None? Well, no, sure, I know I'm not in top form, but I'm able to execute my duties with distinction. As you say, as you say. I could bring it up anyway. Tell me more about your rebellion against Kairos. Right to be curious about history, but considering that you would speak of rebellion. And the uprisings of... yeah, my lore. The uprisings that passed my informer president efforts. They might have that, not the squalling children who are counter to my efforts, but I would rather you march forth understanding your enemy than not. You want to hear I decimated the armies of Kairos, built my legion around northern powers, and achieved a major power? True that I accomplished much as a northern warlord. My life began in north on the Overlord's tutorage. Third, you defeat during rebellion. Defeat Blood Echo the Archer all the time by leading him into trap. He must have been so consumed by the fury of the hunt that he overlooked a bit of hasty misdirection. Even the execution of that foe was nothing compared to the victory I would win later. I also defeated the Royces Narant. So I just imagine that happened so many years ago, and here we are again. My legionary destroyed the Scar Course and mutilated in fact. That the Archon of Secrets is still licking his wounded pride. Soldiers are disposable and unloved as anything can be. The force holds his pride and satisfaction in high regard. He's crafty enough that nothing can wound him deeply, though I seem to have earned the distinction. I'd like to assume the Archon War's mantle. First, I was unaware that I assumed any power beyond any normal authority. Might seem obvious now, but war tends to confuse such things. No desire whatsoever to claim or accept such responsibility on Kairos. It took years for me to fully come to terms with my own surrender and subjugation. But I was meant for any title in the honored hierarchy of Archon's war seemed an appropriate one for me. In truth, I think myself more as a general and a father. Can't give me the Archon father. Don't worry about fighting the Archons. We won many battles against the Archons, though we did the most damage against the Force in Urad. He was by no means the only Archon to assault our shield wall. The Archon and infantry tarnished our weapons. We fought with wood. But you're supposed to be the Iron Legion, basically. We fought with wood. The Archon source after Fever, we rallied around Song to the north. It's a matter of no offenses. Even though I lacked Archon's education or experience, no doubt it is one of the reasons that Kairos singled me out to join the ranks. How did you rise to power? That was just bound to the rebound itself. I earned its inspired loyalty and devotion, and my soldiers, but as the years wore on, I grew to love them in turn. Ellie Stone showed as dear to me as a blood relation, and now I go to England to see them succeed. As we only know all too well, General. When we stood against Kairos, the women and men of my legion and trained harder, marched for, and endured more than even I had taught them. We were unstoppable. The soldiers credited me this new advantage. I'd given them my commitment, and they felt protected and strengthened by my presence. First I thought it was merely their nature to look to the lead for courage, but nay, they were the first to discover the truth. The Aegis. They paid attention during the conquest. My Aegis. As it came to recall, course, my lower soldiers and protective shroud, they also have 10 times the endurance and coordination of a standard army, and shrug off lethal blows without incident. First I attributed the performance of my legion to their training breed, but it soon became clear that something greater was afoot. But this redoubled Kairos' interest in me. Power of an Archon is something to be nurtured or damped down in accordance with Tunyan's judgment. Once the force of Kairos viewed my influence over the troops as demonstrated for a threat, they resolved to put an end to my defiance once for all. They sent every armor they could spare after us, almost sacrificing the scarred course in the process. Eventually, as all factors do, even I fell. So what happened next? They dragged me to Tunyan's core in chains. I killed a dozen guards on the journey. Forced to be shackled with overlords so I would pay back the indignity in blood. Now before the abdicated and felt the force of his judging stale, my temper cooled, turning from anger to fear. That's about how I imagined Ari would have coped had she been taken in chains. Turn off from me the terms of my sins. If I walked the path of insubordination, the lives of my soldiers were forfeit. If I bent the knee to Kairos, an opportunity that would not present itself twice, then I could continue to serve my allegiance as Archon. Therefore a choice, but not sort of trying that paralyzed me. My soldiers had earned such glory, to see it all snuffed out before their time. After I made the choice, Tunyan invited me to a council of Archons, where my loyalties were affirmed my place upon their number seated compared to Kairos. So I became an Archon to my soldiers, that became the Overlord's Archon of War. Doesn't say... Did you actually even meet Kairos? Sounds like you met Tunyan, and that was it. You already know the rest. My final lead became his favorite stuff. Oh fuck. Connect with yourself to have this vote. Right. For those tales, I'd like to know more about the link itself. Legends of these goes deeper than anyone outside can fully understand. You need to tell me you can protect yourself without lifting your shield. An Archon, anything is possible. Should my devout legion from harm and strength the fall of any hammer or sword. Those who probably have showed up below the kill average men or women 10 times over. Any negative repercussions? Now my soldiers protect the strength and body in turn. I'm secure. Consider an answer of you affinities. That's the way of my power, my legion. Did Armin seem to have seen weak for a second there? Too many blows to the head? Maybe I mean, raise your hand if you've ever seen him wear a helmet. How is this connection possible? Just easily ask who built the old walls. Stuff. Plot. Are you unwell inside though? Oh, I'm fair and help as I ever was outside the sign shell. Very well. Like I sort of still want to bring that up, I don't want to. Anyway. Oh, that's a loaded question. What was that, Faber? I hope you didn't. Just out of those words. Walk a fine line asking Archon these sorts of questions, Fatebinder. I would take care of how you address the general in the future. Major F. Yes, I thought that was best. So how can I continue my services disfavored? These are troubled times for all, and none more so than the force of Kairos. Our Arcanite's defense is splintered. Loyalty to challenge at every level of command, and much that we have built during the conquest crumbles under its own weight. We had thought the Vendor Guard were the final depot of the region's defiance. We were all, and the Teals have risen up against Kairos, appointed by their countrymen. With the disfavored labor to maintain order, that serpent, the fortune grows as his armory illuminates and sail swords, preparing to live shot where we least suspected. So the trials precisely defiance wasn't our power. Try and find some cold comfort in that knowledge. There can be no peace without voices nor outlives, and no order while the scar cores rampage across these then. The elimination of chaos must be our first priority. Then we can have our time to govern the Tears as Kairos intended. Can I depend upon your support against the Scourge? What would you have me do? Position authority in the Blade Grove is far from skill. We need to establish ourselves in the region in order to cultivate our strength for the battle to come. Soon some confidence and success, we would deport this realm and wipe the course threat from the face of territories. The unbroken former Darts and Sons of Start vets their efforts to secure this region. The Aegis Storm offers them cover. They sit past patrols in the light of day, hiding their movements behind clouds of dust and debris. Courage casts its blight on the country to set an example, not to plague those of us loyal to the North. You must travel to the center of stand and seek out Stratus Herodin. He's the last of the old stalwart bloodline who call themselves regents. Form the sword and end this edict once and for all. So who is he? The last of an elder bloodline that roots Stalwart and maintains unity. He's also a filthy coward in the last battle of Stalwart. Crouched behind the walls of the central stand, keeping refused meal forces on the field of battle. Why is he so important to the edict? You should know that better than anyone. Did you not proclaim Kairos' will upon the realm of Stalwart yourself? You would neither surrender nor empower soldiers to do so. As such, Kairos declared that Stalwart ravaged the country until the region was dead. Did it? I don't remember that. Stratus Herodin was free to kill himself before, so he was even too proud to gutless for the task. So why has no one killed him yet? But he persists in crouching behind the walls of Central Stand. With the Eater Storm raged across the city, no one's been able to enter or exit since the last year of the conquest. No burgomaster unless the wind wall you've heard. So how am I supposed to get to him then? It's visited this plague upon the people. Started upon the least cowards. I thought the Eater would have dispelled long ago, but to her dismay it endures. Rushing to be filled in the air is a source of constant irritation, and hampers our ability to conduct this war on our terms. Thankfully, our goals are well matched. The persistence of the Eater is tied to Herodin's bloodline. To his bloodline. So that means if he has any children or anything, I'd have to find them too. It was decreed that the storms will continue until the last of the regents is slain. In the regents in the edict, and return to me victorious. Found my prayer at once. Find regent, kill him in the sea storm. Since John's sleeping wound will repair once for all. Down for them broken, and the old region was then measured throughout the tears, or rules absolute. Okay. There's one final matter to discuss. My daughter went missing in the second year of the conquest. I have reason to believe she is trapped in the fortress of Cinderstan. You can find me, I'll bring her home to me. How do you know she's there? The one location in all shown we cannot reach. If her detachment of soldiers to take her captive, she would be placed beyond my power. I've already talked about her. Well, he would know if she's still alive. Yeah, he would know if she was still alive. And fine to ensure her safe return. That is all I ask. Marriage but one soldier. Yet if I had the forces to dispatch her, make her a chief of my highest priority. She's a commander of the highest renown, and a paragon of northern values. Fatefinder, I offer you my support in this mission. The Plague Grove is the place of memory. America horse buried among the ruins, and no small part myself. Could you elaborate? The matter is a sensitive one, but I feel to speak in the company of the great general, though he doubtless knows already. Speak on, son of Barkin. Nothing I've seen you accomplish in the field has diminished you in my eyes. I know my soldiers as well as I know myself. Lost countrymen by the hundreds in the last day of the Stormcrown, and for my troubles I became fierce in this armor. The Plague Grove is the last place I ever felt human. That's all I'll say about now. The last battle of Starwood was a terrible time. Perhaps most of all for you who survived. I mourn those who lost and recite their names often during the morning drills. We cannot restore those broken bodies in but we remember them as they were. Is that all? Your manner has changed. Or stand straight in for a moment. You can't tell if he's going to lash out or crumble to himself. But if you fell for anything after a long pause, he showed sag the slightest bit. Cohort marched on the central stand to complete a mission. We failed. The loss of the keep defied us, and the last region started to be fierce to me as the bad. The coming car was to cut us off from our objectives because the Plague Grove is also a place of regret. Yeah, of course you can come for me. Who else am I going to attack? First, I appreciate fate by a great action. The general understand to each of his troops, and please me to see his example in you. And in you, Armored One. However, because I found you in the mere germination of your potential, and you have accomplished much in the ensuing years. Thank you, General. No, I'm sorry, much of the position of Central Stand. It would take 100 lifetimes to forget those old walls, to the day they did shatter events. I have a question for you, though. Now, we no longer have that. There's the thing, I'm probably going to reload this, but let's see how this turns out. Paybound's going to be reborn. These days it's difficult enough to judge friend from foe. But, okay, I wasn't expecting this. What transpired to finish whether this fair must hold fast to our allies. You're because you support the siege, but don't mistake your confidence for devotion. The Scar, of course, would not have you. Yeah, I'm here to serve the Disfavored to stop the Civil War. Returns claim laid over you. I cannot grant you a seat of honor at the Disfavored table. Search one each time what you can accomplish more than your humdrum legal proceedings in the abdicator's court. What is required? The link itself. Shit, I think I might have lost that. Huh. Yeah, I might have lost that chance. Oh well. I could go with that, but anyway. Oh well. Barry doesn't want me to do it anyway, and we've already completed that quest, so. So, the score course from our mouth, Breather, and Professor spent the last year targeting this favorite supply depot, so go deal with that. Still claim that. There's a spire located in the Plague Grove. This much is known. How due to that, you can't really get there. And we need to go kill this guy to end the magical storms. Trying to think. What do I want to do? Because we still need more money to buy shit, and we don't really have the money to buy shit. Like that sigil of stone. Nah, yes, no, yes, no. Well, maybe we'll have enough money when we come back. Because you know we're going to have to come back after we complete all this shit anyway, so. But I think that's enough for... Wait, you can see it, don't you? That's... Jeez, barely noticeable too. Also, wait, is that loot? No, those are just glowing. Huh. But yeah, you can see it, don't you? Lantry wants to speak to
So,
us.
your latest acquisition has me thinking about the spires some more. By all accounts, they go as far back as the old walls. Over the centuries, the nobles of the tiers have claimed the spires, but they've only ever battled over the land at the ground level of the monuments. I've never seen the glyphs of a spire light up in all my years. Not until you show up. If this were an isolated incident, I'd be confused. But it seems the spires, plural, are somehow connected to you. What's your secret?
That's a surprise to me as well. Alongside escapes him. As he sits his crow in his mouth, chewing on the tip of his head and tilts from one side to the other, muttering incoherent half-words. I always want to know what you're thinking.
My mind is going back to Ascension Hall. I wonder if Graven Ash or Narot had claimed it as their own, would the spire come alive for either of them the way it did for you?
I doubt that. There's pressure for someone to claim Ascension Hall. Can't be a coincidence.
Ah, such a clever child. I can't imagine the Overlord would ever carelessly word an edict. You are right. I don't imagine Kairos leaves anything to mere coincidence.
Yeah, I think as far as can enter cars in fashion.
If you're asking if Kairos built them or controls them, no. They predate all mention of Kairos, and I'm sure if Kairos could control the other spires, that fact would be shamelessly flaunted. But it occurs to me that perhaps Kairos didn't have a connection, but does now, thanks to your actions.
Think what he just said, though. Kairos doesn't have control over the spires. Kairos could use me to gain control over the spires. Because Kairos wants this whole area taken over. Which basically, you know, which is why he sent those armies, and they'll, you know, their civil wars, just whatever. Kairos doesn't really give a shit. Just do your jobs. But the fact that the spires here, and I'm not sure if Kairos expected us to take over the spire, but the whole, oh, the spires can be taken over. Well, let's just let the player do what the player's doing, and see how it pans out from there, right? So is there any other awakened spires?
There are other spires, and I've heard of notable figures trying to build monuments atop or astride the spires. But nothing I've read matches the mystical connection you've made with the spire.
And I think that's all for the conversation with him. Okay, so I have to watch this downhill. When these things start flashing, then that's when I know I need to talk to them. That's going to be a bit difficult to note because those are such small icons. But anyway, this has been an episode. 3 days. I also have to check this occasion to see if those new things. But anyway, so next time we go to... Bit help if I had the map. So we go over here to send... Well, this is probably that one mission. But yeah, we could go to the hill and maybe that next time. Oh wait, that's Cater Village over them. Huh. Huh. Wait, no, I've been to Central Stat. That's where we got, you know, his stuff. Right, right. So we want to go over here to this village. Next time. Okay. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all, and have a nice day.